Hi, this is Yardine Franco with Honest Reporting. Today we're going to talk about this guy. This is Professor Steven Salaita, who was recently offered a position to teach at the University of Illinois, and that position was then rescinded. And some in the media are calling this an attack on free speech and academic freedom. So we're going to talk about that. Let's start with something that the professor wrote on his Twitter account. It's better to teach than to berate or shame. And I think that's a very admirable statement from someone who is teaching in the classroom. That you need to teach, not to berate or shame. So why was this job offer rescinded? What's going on? Well, apparently he had posted a large series of tweets during the Gaza conflict that were critical of Israel. And I think anyone discussing this has to look at the actual tweets that he wrote. For example, if you're defending Israel right now, then hopelessly brainwashed is your best prognosis. If you're defending Israel right now, you're an awful human being. And what's the criticism of Israel? At this point, if Netanyahu appeared on TV with a necklace made from the teeth of Palestinian children, would anybody be surprised? There was one he had written when the Israeli teens were kidnapped and killed. He said, I hope all Israeli settlers would go missing. The university rescinded their offer of employment because they said, we don't want to employ someone who espouses hate, who's creating an atmosphere of intimidation. Could you imagine if you were a student, if you were a Jewish student, if you were a pro-Israel student, and you were in one of his classes, the person in charge of your academic success has said, if you defend Israel, you're an awful human being. Of course, he has the legal right to say this. That's free speech. I would never say that he shouldn't be allowed to say that. But should he be given a lot of money, paid a salary, and put in charge of a classroom full of university students? I think the university has every right to say no to hate and no to intimidation. This is not an attack on academic freedom, and it is not some plot to silence those critical of Israel. You can absolutely be critical of Israel, but there is a line. When you tweet relentlessly that Israel is committing genocide, Israel is rounding up Palestinians and murdering them, then you have crossed that line and you are no longer in a legitimate political discourse. Now you are spewing hate, spewing incitement. And that's got to stop.